Welcome aboard, fellow explorers of Deep Dive. I'm the captain, and I'm glad we're setting sail on this journey of discovery together again. Have you ever considered that all of human civilization, all our wars, our art, and our dreams might revolve around an axis that lasts only 11 minutes? It's a strange statement, I know, but I promise that by the end of this video, these mysterious 11 minutes will forever change your perspective on the most sacred and the most terrestrial of human experiences. To understand it, we must venture into the open sea and dive deep into a story that begins with a contradiction, a fairy tale whose heroine is a prostitute. Imagine a young girl in a small, dusty town in Brazil, with dreams that seem torn from the pages of a storybook, a prince on a white horse, a magnificent wedding, and a house with a view of the sea. This girl, Maria, like so many of us, stood with one foot in the world of tales and the other on the edge of an abyss, unaware that life was about to show her both. The common belief is that the fall is the end of the story, but the truth is sometimes the fall is just the beginning. Maria got her first bitter taste of love when, out of fear, she couldn't utter a single word to the boy she adored. In that moment, a small fear took root in her heart, the fear of loss. And this fear, like a broken compass, would dictate her entire future path. She made a vow to herself never again to let love take control of her life. But this raises the question, when you run from love, where exactly do you take refuge? And that is just the beginning of our story. To escape that small town and her broken dreams, Maria accepts a strange offer, to become a samba dancer in Switzerland. A land of dreams, full of wealth and opportunity. She thought she was flying towards paradise, but she didn't know her ticket was one way to purgatory. The promised heaven was a dreary cabaret, and the dancing contract was an invisible chain. It was there that Maria understood for the first time how the world works. Dreams are for sale, but the price you pay for them is far greater than you could ever imagine. She quickly learned that she had to lock her soul away in a chest and survive in this new world with her body alone. It was here that she discovered the concept of 11 minutes. Her clients, powerful and successful men who seemed invincible from the outside, came there for a few moments to not be themselves. They paid money to escape their loneliness, their fears, and the pressures of their lives. And this entire transaction, this temporary escape, lasted, on average, 11 minutes. 11 minutes of physical closeness to compensate for a lifetime of spiritual distance. Maria became an expert. She learned how to listen to their stories, how to validate them, and how, in the end, to feign pleasure. She learned to sell her body, but not her heart. She was swimming in the depths of an ocean of loneliness, but always kept one eye on a distant lighthouse that promised her salvation, enough money to buy a farm and return to Brazil. Put yourself in her shoes for a moment. When you have to wear a mask every day that slowly makes you forget who you really are, how do you save yourself? Maria's life was confined to this mechanical repetition, until one day, fate tossed a stone into this quiet pond. She met a painter named Ralph Hart. Unlike all the other men she knew, Ralph was the first person who, when he looked at Maria, didn't see a commodity or a beautiful object. He saw something that Maria herself had almost forgotten. Ralph told her, "You have a special light." This sentence, like a key, unlocked the very chest where Maria had hidden her soul. For the first time in months, someone was seeing the real her, not her mask. But this was just the beginning of a new storm. This light, as much as it made Maria happy, also terrified her, because it reminded her just how far she had strayed from herself. But this abyss had a darker side as well. In her quest to understand her own limits, Maria met a man named Terence, who showed her another world, the world where pain and pleasure are intertwined. Terence taught her how humans subconsciously seek out suffering to feel alive. That night, in a luxurious hotel, through humiliation and pain that she had, accepted by choice, Maria experienced the most powerful orgasm of her life. A shocking discovery: in the depths of submission and nothingness, there exists an absolute freedom. This experience took her to the brink of madness. Now she was trapped between two worlds, the world of light and gentle love that Ralph had shown her, and the world of darkness and forbidden pleasure she had discovered with Terence. It seemed both paths led to a kind of freedom. But which freedom was real, and which was a dangerous mirage? This is the turning point. The moment the story transforms from a narrative about survival into a profound exploration of the nature of love. Ralph, sensing that Maria was drowning in that darkness, took her to the lakeside one night. The air was cold. He asked her to take off her shoes and walk on the sharp, cold stones. Maria felt the pain. She felt the cold. But this time, the pain didn't come from another person. It came from nature, pure and without intention. Ralph told her, pain is a part of life, but it shouldn't be confused with love. You shouldn't take refuge in it. That night, at the peak of physical pain, Maria found a peace she had never experienced before. She understood that true freedom was not about mastering pain and darkness, but about passing through it to reach the light. So all this time, the point wasn't about how to survive, it was about how to truly live. And this brings us back to the promise at the beginning of the video. 11 minutes. Maria realized that all those mechanical, soulless 11-minute encounters were, in fact, humanity's blind search for something they had lost, an embrace of recognition. Ralph told her about Plato's myth, that in the beginning, humans were complete beings with 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 legs, but the gods feared their power and split them in 2. Since that day, each half wanders the world, searching for its lost other. And that moment of reunion, that embrace where 2 become 1 again, is what we call love. Maria's 11 minutes were the flawed, desperate attempts of men searching for their lost halves, but going down the wrong path. That night, Maria and Ralph, without any transaction, without any masks, and for a time far longer than 11 minutes, held each other. They became one not just with their bodies, but with their souls. For the first time in her life, Maria understood the true meaning of that embrace. In that moment, she was not a prostitute, nor a victim. She was simply a whole woman. In the end, Maria made a decision that many of us might not understand. Even though she had found her true love, she decided to return to Brazil. Alone, she was afraid that if she stayed, this celestial free love would turn into an earthly possession, a form of slavery. She wanted to keep the image of Ralph in her heart, like a sacred dream. She went to the airport with a broken heart but a free soul. But just like in the movies, Ralph was there. He had followed her. And he told her that true love isn't about escaping bondage, but the courage to accept the most beautiful kind of commitment. So what were those 11 minutes? They are a metaphor for all our flawed searches, all our attempts to fill an inner void with external things. Maria's story shows us that the path to sacred love sometimes passes through the most profane and darkest of places. It doesn't matter where our journey begins. What matters is having the courage to take the dive. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep journey. Here at Deep Dive, this is what we search for, stories that remind us what it means to be human. We appreciate you all so much. If this journey meant something to you, give us a boost with a like and subscribe so we can embark on more voyages together. And now I ask you, have you ever had an experience in your life that at first looked like a fall, but you later realized that very experience transformed you into a better version of yourself? Share your story with us in the comments. Perhaps the next time you feel you're standing on the edge of an abyss, you'll remember that sometimes the deepest dives are the ones that launch us back to the sky. Until the next dive, farewell.